Alright, my fellow Diablo 3 horror fiends, so after a lot of careful thinking and consideration, I have decided to go with the Necromancer class in Season 22. I did do a lot of PTR testing. For those of you that joined me live on Twitch, thank you very much. I tested out the Wizard, the Necromancer, the Crusader, and also the Monk class, the POJ Monk. So I did try various builds for all of these four classes, and out of those four, I was trying to decide which class to go with. I really did want to play the Wizard, because I haven't played the Wizard for the longest time out of any class in Diablo 3, but it was definitely out of those four, and I still wanted to play the Wizard, but decided not to, because it's just way too slow and too weak, and it's not useful for groups at all. It's the least useful for groups, and I'm playing in groups this season because we're streaming live on Twitch for the first time at the beginning of a season, so it's a big deal. I've got our friends ready to go. We're going to play in groups, and the Wizard just isn't going to contribute enough to group and to the progression of the season, so I've decided to give the Wizard a miss. And I've decided to go with something that the group can benefit from. Nobody has gone on Necromancer yet, so I've played Necromancer in Season 21, in this current season that's about to end, and I loved it. I was playing the Poison Scythe build, and I was already saying that I actually really want to play Necromancer again, possibly this season. So after a bit of testing, I've decided to go with the Necro, and right now I'm going to go through the Bone Spear build, which is going to be a leaderboard dominator. I don't know if it's going to be quite as strong as the Poison Scythe. At the moment, it is. I don't think it's been nerfed all that much since the PTR, because PTR, we are smashing the leaderboards with GR pushing, but then again in PTR you can also roll the best possible gear because you have unlimited materials. But anyway, let's get into the gear. So we're using 6 pieces of the Masquerade of the Burning Carnival. We're using the helm, chest, shoulders, gloves, pants, and boots. So looking at the 6-piece the 6-piece set bonuses here, for 2 pieces, simulacrums no longer take damage. They gain all runes, and their cooldowns are refreshed when you die. And with some other items that we have, they're never going to die. For 4 pieces, while you have a simulacrum, damage is reduced by 50%. Damage you take is split with the simulacrums as well. Nice. So damage reduction there, very, very handy. For the 6-piece bonus, your Bone Spear deals 10,000%, a whopping 10,000% increased damage. Simulacrums gain triple this bonus, and simulacrums are going to be casting Bone Spear when we do, so they're going to be doing 30,000 additional damage. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, the damage multiplier. The damage multipliers for this build are really great, and it's going to get even better because in Season 22 we're going to get a 4th canonized cube slot. It's going to be absolutely insane. Now I will also post a link to this build in the description below. You can go to D3 Planner and check it out. I'll make things easy for everyone so you don't have to keep rewatching this video. You can if you want to see my fresh brand new haircut. Stud Muffin look 69 here. Now the amulet we're using, Haunted Vision. So simulacrum now drains 1% of your maximum life. You're not even going to notice this at all, but they last forever. They can now duplicate Grim Scythe instead of Skeletal Mage. They're already going to be duplicating our Bone Spears. So even though we are also going to be, like Grim Scythe is a primary skill, they duplicate, Simulacrums will duplicate our secondary skills. So like our Bone Spears and stuff. They don't usually duplicate your primary skills like Grim Scythe. With Haunted Visions they will, and they can't die. So you can't lose with this amulet. It's a must. You must use it at all costs. Now these babies are brand new. These are new braces, and they've definitely buffed this set and this build nicely. They're Gelmindo's Marrow Guards. And what they do is Bone Spears that are cast from simulacrums now deal 400% increased damage. So their damage is already tripled because of the Masquerade of the Burning Carnival 6-piece bonus, and now you can add 400% to 30,000. So our simulacrums are going to be killing it, people. They're going to be doing, I think their Bone Spears are going to be doing more damage than the actual Necromancer's Bone Spears. So for the rings, we're down to the jewelry. No, okay, belt. Dainty's Binding. You gain an additional 50% damage reduction when there is an enemy afflicted by one of your curses, and I'll get to the skills next. We are obviously using Decrepify, which is my favorite, with Dizzying Curse. So the rings that we're using Brig's Wrath. Uncursed enemies are pulled to the target location when a curse is applied to them. So as we're cursing enemies, any enemies that are actually around them are going to get sucked into the enemies that we're cursing. So we're grouping them up, and we're going to be taking them out nicely with our Hadouken, our bone spears. Now, this is going to be very handy because y'all are going to notice that the Necromancer is very squishy. Like the Poison Scythe Necro is nice and tanky. This build, doesn't matter how much damage reduction you put into it. And we have a fair amount here through items and skills and whatnot. But it's still very squishy, and grouping up enemies and decrepifying them with Dizzying Curse is going to possibly stun them and definitely slow them down. And that way we can Hadouken their asses with our Bone Spears. Cast your Bone Spears and take them out that way. So because we're so squishy, we're going to be relying on stunning, slowing, movement impairing, and obviously killing. Now, sorry, there's like two of me in the background. I hope that's not annoying people because, oh, that guy looks buff behind me, doesn't he? Anyway, I'm trying to block him out, but that's like an old video from, that's like a video from PTR. I should have figured out a way to block myself out, but he's just so big behind me there, I can't block him out. Now, where were we? God, I should be a comedian. Crispin Sentence is the second ring. So we deal 100% increased damage against slowed enemies. Because we're cursing, we're going to be slowing enemies. Or triple this bonus against enemies afflicted by any other type of control impairing effect. So if we have any other effects that are manipulating the way the enemies are moving, then we're going to triple the bonus. And we've got Bane of the Trapped as well, that's going to be slowing enemies as well. We've got Freeze that we're using with Grim Scythe, so we're going to be tripling damage, god damn it. For the weapon, we're using Scythe of the Cycle. Your secondary skills deal 400% additional damage while Bone Armor is active, but reduces the duration of Bone Armor by 4 seconds, which is a good thing. I'll explain why. Number one, we're going to be using Bone Armor more because it's also going to freeze enemies. There's a chance to stun them. It's going to stun enemies, and with Decrepify and Dizzying Curse, we're going to be stopping enemies a lot more. God, he's really annoying me back there. There's two of me. Anyway, we're going to be stopping enemies more and getting that triple bonus, and also we're going to be reducing damage taken. In fact, we're going to be avoiding most damage altogether, because we're going to be stunning, freezing, and immobilizing enemies along the way. Anyway, we'll get to the skills in a second. Lost Time is in the offhand. Basically, it usually has the best stats that we can roll here, and other than that, your cold skills reduce the movement speed of enemies by 30%. In addition, your movement speed is increased by 10% for 5 seconds, maximum 5 stacks. So we are using Grim Scythe with a frozen with Frost Scythe, so it can definitely benefit from Lost Time there. But you can put anything else you can put another offhand in that has better stats. Offhand really isn't that critical. Everything else is. So while we're here, we'll go through the gems. We're using the Diamond Gem in the helm here. Then we're using Topaz Intelligence Gems everywhere else except for the weapon, which obviously we're using the Emerald Gem to get that critical hit damage by 130%. The legendary gems, Zay's Stone of Vengeance, because we are going to be casting Bone Spear from a distance, and that's going to be obviously multiplied by how far away we are from enemies with the Zay's Stone of Vengeance. So it's going to be doing a lot more damage. Bane of the Trapped, again, another way to slow enemies down. We've got a few ways to slow enemies down, a few abilities, a few skills. So this is definitely going to be beneficial, and it's going to increase damage against all enemies. And Bane of the Stricken, very great for Rift Guardians, and also beneficial for packs as well, I suppose, especially for higher GR, where we're attacking the same enemy longer and longer, and they're harder to kill, so our damage does increase, but mostly handy for Rift Guardians there. Now, is there anything else I need to cover off here? I don't think so, because once I start talking, I love to talk, and I can't shut up. It's already been 10 minutes. Oh my god, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? With a creepy damn uncle. Your favorite creepy uncle in this universe. Oh my god, there's two of us. Whose arms are bigger? Mine or his? I'll have to figure something... Hey, good looking. I'll have to figure something out for next time and block him out. I'm not that vain, I'm just joking. I really don't love myself that much. Anyway, down to the skills. We're using Blood Rush with Potency. We're using Decrepify, Dizzying Curse, Simulacrum, Reservoir, because I'll get to this. Because it is the 4th Canonized Cube slot, Season 22, we get that 4th Canonized Cube slot. We're going to be doing whatever we can to increase our maximum essence and multiplying our damage even further. So I'll explain that in a second. We're using Simulacrum with Reservoir, Bone Armor with Dislocation, Grim Scythe with Frost Scythe, Bone Spear with Blighted Marrow. This is poison damage, so you definitely want to go poison damage for your Amulet, your Braces, and wherever else you can get it. But at the moment, I think it's just the Amulet and the Ring there. So make sure you get poison damage 20%. Where were we now? Alright, passives. Serration, which you can swap out for... what was it? Final Service. So if you're pushing high GRs and you're taking a lot of damage, you might want to swap this out for Final Service, because you get that life-saving effect every 60 seconds. When you're pushing high GR, it's probably very wise to use Final Service. I definitely would. But if you're just having some fun and you're comfortable and you're not dying, then Serration's the way to go. You get more damage out of it. But if you do find yourself dying and struggling to push those higher GR levels, or if survivability is an issue, then you definitely want to swap that out for Final Service. Overwhelming Essence, again, increasing our Essence. I'll get to that in a second. Standalone, increasing armor. You're going to need this. And Bone Prism. Now, Canonized Cube, very, very important. Now, these are pretty much non-negotiable. Obviously, the 4th Canonized Cube slot that we're going to get in Season 22, you can mix and match and put in whatever you want, but Raylena's Shadowhook is just so damn juicy. I'm telling you right now, you definitely want to go with this, but like I said, you want to do whatever you can to increase your maximum essence. So we're using Overwhelming Essence, we're using Reservoir here with Simulacrum, increases your essence by 100%, by 40 here. It's super beneficial. We'll get to the Raylena's Shadowhook in a second. So what we're using in the weapon slot is Maltorius's Petrified Spike. Bone Spear now costs 40 essence and deals 550 to 700% increased damage. In this case, if you extract the legendary power into Canonized Cube, you're going to get a perfect roll. It's going to be 700%. So we're going to be dishing out 700 extra % for Bone Spear. So do the math. The multipliers are insane. Bone Spear, 10,000, but 30,000 for Simulacrums. Bone Spear, another 400%, and now Bone Spear, 700%. It's just insane. Plus, you've got your movement impairing effects. So Crispin Sentence, goddammit, you deal 100% increased damage against slowed enemies. It's tripled if there are other movement impairing effects. So we can't go wrong with that one. Razeth's Volition we want to use in the armor slot. The ring slot, I've got Convention of Elements. That's a 200% increase in damage every time the poison element comes around. And Raylena's Shadowhook. Now, this baby, every point of maximum essence increases your damage by 0.5%, and Bone Spikes generate blah, blah, blah. We're not using Bone Spikes. So, 0.5% doesn't sound like a lot, but multiply that by 40 here for extra essence. Our Simulacrums with Reservoir, 100%, and wherever else we can get it, it's going to add up and dish out a hell of a lot of additional damage. So check out description below. I'll have the Day 3 planner link there, which is what I'm using now to go through all this. I thought I'll do a quick build guide video on this. This is what I'm going to be using next season, as well as the Poison Scythe build, and it is official. Your creepy uncle, your favorite creepy uncle in this universe, is going to be going Necromancer in Season 22. What class will you be playing?